Today, let's talk about how to invest in property outside of your main area, because in some instances, it may not make sense to invest in property locally to where you live. Hi, my name's Tony Law from Your First Four Houses, and my channel is all about helping you replace a job-based income with just a handful of investment properties so that you can give up the day job if you wish and go and do something more interesting with your life. If this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click that bell notification icon so that you don't miss out on any of the free content that I give you each and every week. So let's be really honest, there are going to be times where it just doesn't make sense to invest in property immediately around where you live. And in many cases this is going to be because the property immediately around you is just simply too expensive and it just does not make sense and you want to look further afield. This video is absolutely going to help you, and I'm going to share 11.5 tips that will enable you to build a property portfolio well away from where you live. So the first of these tips is to simply start with at least some basic property education. Now you really don't need to spend a fortune on this. In fact, there's loads of really good free content out there, but I do think you need at least some basic property-based education, especially since you're going to start to do due diligence on properties away from where you live. I think that's essential. Tip number 2 is to focus first on your strategy. What strategy makes sense for you? Now your strategy is going to be geared around the goals that you have in life, what you're wanting to achieve as a goal, how much money you can bring to bear to put into deals. I think it needs to align with your strengths and weaknesses as a personality, believe it or not. Your age is also going to have a big bearing. These things combined and other points as well are going to really determine which is the best strategy for you. And if you want help with that, book yourself a coaching call, link is below. Tip number 3, once you know your strategy, is to do some high-level area research on a number of different areas around the country. High-level area research will enable you to establish very quickly, as I say, at a high level, where your chosen strategy works. And obviously this is going to largely be geared around the demand for your strategy. Tip number 4 is to study that market intimately. If it's not where you live, you need to really go there and really learn about that investment area. And you know what, it won't take you that long, especially if you're getting out and walking it, which is what I'm always encouraging people to do. Go around and walk every single road in that investment area. You need to know where the good neighbourhoods are. You need to know where the bad neighbourhoods are. Where are the good schools? Where are the bad schools? Where are the new big employers moving in perhaps? Walk the area. Talk to people, establish if the area is in growth. Are there people moving in? Or perish the thought, are people moving out? Needless to say, you're going to avoid the latter. Tip number 5, connect with just 2 or 3 great agents in your area. You don't really need any more than that. I always like people to focus on independent estate agents and letting agents. And by the way, I am talking about estate agents and also letting agents. These people, if they're good, can absolutely supply you with some cracking deals. But they also have the huge benefit of a ready-made power team. They'll know a great plumber, a great electrician, a great decorator, a great handyman. And of course, you don't live in that area. You need great people to actually work on your properties. So connect with 2 or 3 great agents. Tip number 6, generate your own leads. Now I know this always sounds a little bit scary. Generating your own leads, what does that look like? Well, you know, we're talking about Facebook advertising. We're talking about maybe doing some direct letters, perish the thought leafleting, postcards in shop windows. This stuff actually works, even in this modern era. You need to generate your own leads. I also think you need to either attend auctions or just be aware of what properties are going through auctions. You can often find some cracking deals there, especially if they don't sell at auction. Massive tip for you there. But you need to generate your own leads because A, you'll find some cracking deals, and it leads me on to point number 7. Any leads that you get coming in that are potentially off market and maybe are what I would refer to as maybe poor leads, and by that I mean The people aren't really highly motivated to give you a cracking deal, and also they're not in any major rush. Any of those, you want to offer those poor leads back to your agent. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, for two reasons. First of all, you can monetize those leads. Those agents will actually give you a percentage of the commission. But second, and that, by the way, will cover all of your ongoing marketing and advertising costs to generate more leads. But also, imagine the kind of attitude the agent is going to have the next time they pick up the phone and speak to you, or rather you speak to them. They're going to want to go out of their way to find you an absolutely cracking deal, because you've just gone and put two, maybe poorer leads in front of them that they can potentially monetize in the conventional way and obviously get a good commission from doing so. Tip number 8 is simply to run the numbers over and over and over again. You need to get really, really good at the numbers so that you understand and recognize a cracking deal when it jumps off of the page at you. When you go, oh my goodness, look at the return on investment that I'm going to be getting on that deal. Honestly, that just comes with practice. And it also helps you massively establish where the better areas are. So get good and practice doing the numbers. Tip number 9 is simply to start making offers. Now, I personally think you should only ever make offers if you genuinely would buy that property at the offer that you've put forwards. Some people don't do that. Some people just say, go and make offers, and you can reject them if they actually come through. I think that's really unethical. Look at the price or look at the figure where that deal makes sense for you. And obviously, generally speaking, let's be honest, it's going to be a lower offer. We're property investors after all. But where does that deal make sense for you money-wise? And then start making offers. And you should be making lots of them. Tip number 10, use a great letting agent. Now, hopefully you've already established where the great letting agent is. But that great letting agent with the fantastic power team, well, they're going to be doing everything to do with managing that property because, you know, it's probably 3, 4, 5 hours drive away. Tip number 11 is to repeat. You're going to go and find the next deal, do it again, do it again, do it again, but always within the same relatively small, relatively tight area where you've established there is the greatest level of demand for your chosen strategy. And the reason that's really important is because you want ideally the same agent to manage multiple properties, because it's going to be a hell of a lot less admin for you. It's going to mean fantastic rapport building with you and the agent. They're going to go out and look for other potential deals that they can offer out to you. You're just going to get a better level of service, and it's going to be lower costs, and you're going to be using the same power team, the same plumber, electrician, and so on. And the 11th and a half tip that I wanted to share with you is, if you don't have the money, focus on using a strategy where you don't need to put big money into deals. Now, outside of your area, you may absolutely be able to use a different strategy to the one that would actually you'd have to focus on locally to you. So use a strategy where you simply don't need to put big money into deals.